Hello and welcome to another Overlord lore video, and today we are going to tackle the question of whether or not Ainz Ooal Gown is unable to use his supposedly strongest spell or not. But before we're going to take a look at this rather complex topic, let's take a look at my Patreons and thank them for supporting this channel. Also, I say thank you to all users of the YouTube thanks function. And please check out my new video about bikini armor. Link to it is down in the description. Now with that said, let's dive into today's topic. Ainz Ooal Gown, after traveling to the Empire with the Gate spell, was accompanied by Ainz Pluton, the guildmaster of the Adventurer Guild in Irantel, who arranged a meeting with the Weapon Collector and trainer of Gojin. And during the meeting, Ainz Ooal Gown was asked by Osk if he really could destroy thousands upon thousands of people with just one single spell. And Ainz Ooal Gown answered truthfully that not only he could do so, but that in fact he did destroy 70,000 men with just the beginning stage of a single spell, and caused a total kill count of over 180,000 men. For context, that are 2/3 of the entirety of the royal army, not counting all of the wounded, and a significant portion of the survivors that just went insane from the sheer terror the offspring of a Lovecraftian outer god had caused. Now with that said, Ainz Ooal Gown stated that this was his final trump card, and therefore he couldn't use the spell until he had finally recovered 10 years into the future. But Ainz Ooal Gown lied. He reasoned that this spell was truly frightening and devastating. After all, it was super tier magic, and since he unleashed the spell, the sheer power and severity of this supposedly most powerful spell of Ainz Ooal Gown has already circulated throughout much of the Baharut Empire and the wider world. Remember, the Theocracy held a meeting about the Battle of the Cuts Plain, where the Pontifex Maximus specifically withheld information because the super tier spell sounded so unbelievably powerful that even the other cardinals would have had trouble believing in it if they would have been bludgeoned over the head with the full report at once. Therefore, Ainz Ooal Gown also feared that the supposed players, or even the entirety of a hostile guild that attacked and mind-controlled Sheltier with a world-class item, might eventually use this very spell against an allied nation, and the Empire of Baharut specifically, in order for Ainz Ooal Gown to take the blame for this attack. This in turn would cause his allies to turn away from him, even under the threat of an invasion by the Sorcerer Kingdom's undead forces, because he, the Sorcerer King Ainz Ooal Gown, would have already used his most potent spell against an otherwise loyal ally. So at this point people won't have anything to lose when they rebel and unite against the Sorcerer King, at least from their perspective. And that's why Ainz Ooal Gown wanted to prevent any further attacks or preemptive strikes against his realm by the supposedly hostile players that are still somewhere out there, by informing Osk that he couldn't use the spell anymore and wouldn't be able to do so for another 10 years. If powerful hostile forces would now use the spell in order to attack the Empire, then once the rumors had spread and been picked up by spy agencies around the entirety of the world, such as the Theocracy of Slains, Clearwater Scripture, which had been briefly mentioned in the second novel of Overlord, then it wouldn't be Ainz Ooal Gown, the Sorcerer King, that would take all of the blame for this. But the people would think that another extremely powerful and extremely hostile force had arrived and emerged somewhere in the new world, which then would mean that they must rally around the only one who could fight off such an immense and powerful threat, the Sorcerer King Ainz Ooal Gown himself. As for why Ainz Ooal Gown believed the enemy to be capable of casting super tier magic, which is normally something that only one could learn after achieving the level of 70. Ainz reasoned that Sheltie had been attacked by a world-class item, the most rare item in the entire world of Yggdrasil, or should I say, worlds. We also know that having a single item of the highest, the divine tier, was something rare, even for players that have reached the maximum level of 100. So therefore, those who have world items must be very powerful level 100 players, or even an entire guild, because these items are so rare and so contested that otherwise they might actually have lost them. And that's also why Ainz Ooal Gown became so cautious. He measured the danger of the enemy by the very fact that they possessed a world-class item. So behind this single lie was a whole lot of thought, and it was also a deliberate plan thought up by Ainz Ooal Gown in order to use false information, in order to recontextualize a false flag operation maybe made by an elusive group of hostile players. So yes, Ainz Ooal Gown for once in the entirety of the anime was really playing 4D chess and employ a complex and layered plan against a potential enemy, and he was able to do so because he had already dreamt up similar plans in the past. Because in Yggdrasil Online, the game world Ainz Ooal Gown's avatar hails from, the world hadn't been really explained or revealed. There wasn't a reliable wiki. And each player had to analyze basically the entirety of the world. It was terra incognita, and it had to be explored and explained by the players themselves. So the value of information was something that the player killer guild of Ainz Ooal Gown was well aware of, and something that it used for its own goals and ambitions. Now lastly, this particular super tier magic wasn't his most powerful, for that would have been Fallen Down, the spell he used against Sheltie twice to great effect. He simply chose to use this particular spell because Ainz deemed it to be the flashiest and most spectacular to look at. And with that said, I say thank you very much for watching, and special thanks to Bad Guy Ye, Bad Burrito 316, Beezer, Ben C, Brandon D, Chrissy, Crowley 0221, Sia, Dead Slime, Death is Mercy, Deathless Dragonlord, Demon Xenomorph 1987, Devin Downen, Ding Dong, Duckwagon, Dystopia II, Enigmatic Unicorn, Feral Shivan, Guy with That Head, Hector Marino, Hoss, Huster, Jacob G, Jana B, Jason, Chromius, Legendarius, Lelouch Britannia with a Mustache, Lexus Fox, Lord Nishikian Rai, Lord Touch Me, Merovec, Mr. Shoes, Mr. Tweaker, Michael R, Michael Y, Normal Toad, O'Kill, Overlord General Gasper, Paddy Pantum, Paz Sonage, Primus 11, Shergox's Daddy, Shadow Lightning Wolf, Shrine Keeper, Staris, Ted, Texas Deer, The Orc Warboss, Rocket Smasher, T.E. Wang, Vash Hawkeye, Vegito 27, Venture Fanatic, Wilhelm, and Sonnegon. Thanks guys. Anyway, have a nice day, and I hope to see you all again soon under my next video.